Hey everybody, this is Sherry. Overstreet. Got to remember to say my last name. Anyway, and it's Overstreet, just like it sound. Over the street. Yes, and it's people still misspell it. That's okay. Anyway, I wanted to just talk a little bit about a really deep subject, which is abandonment, and a little bit of the differences around abandonment. Now, when before I went to school, I used to think of, when I heard the word abandonment, I would just think, oh, it's a child that's just left on the porch. That's what I would think. And as I started to study and meet with patients and clients and work on their inner child and all of those things going on with themselves, I discovered that abandonment is so much bigger than I ever even would have thought of. And it's like that thing, like the more you learn you don't know. So it's like, oh, I didn't know. Okay. Anyway, the more I explored this abandonment piece, the more I learned, and my mind is just totally blown. And so what happens with us, or what can happen with us as children, is that we can be physically abandoned, which is my dad left and I didn't see him for a long time or whatever. And so for me personally, my dad was there, my parents were both there. However, they were emotionally abandoning me. Abandonment seems like a difficult word for me to say right at this moment. And maybe I'm sugared by this subject, because again, emotional abandonment is huge. So sometimes we have both. We have both physical and emotional. They just were not there in any capacity. And for me, they were physically there. They were just not there emotionally. And what that means is what emotional abandonment, there I go again, see? Emotional abandonment is, you're not, your feelings are not being accepted. They're not being loved. They're not being honored. They're not allowed. Like, there could be all kinds of things that can happen with your feelings. And for me, mine was, they just were not accepted at all. So I ended up stuffing a lot of stuff inside of myself and created this wall and this barrier of, I'm just not safe. And I created a barrier where it caused me to be emotionally invisible, to where people would say, oh, she's so shy. And really, I was just protecting myself with this shell because I didn't feel safe to share my feelings, to express who I was. That was not okay because of the messages that I received from my parents and that emotional abandonment piece. Now, again, I talk about this, and I want to make one thing clear, is that I'm not here to blame parents. I think parents did the best they could. Now, it's no excuse for pain. Pain is pain. And, I used to blame a lot of things on my mom's mental illness, and instead of actually accepting that things happened to me and that they were painful. So you got to be careful of that too. You don't want to blame the mental illness or blame an addiction or whatever to excuse a behavior. It's still not okay to be abused and to be ignored and all of those things and not be loved and accepted. So it's still a good idea to experience what that felt like. And I know that sounds scary. However, it's okay to have those feelings, and again, we got a lot of, sometimes we get a lot of those mixed messages when we're younger. So again, that's the difference between, not the difference, that's what abandonment is, emotional and physical. So again, thank you so much for checking this video, and I'll see you in the next one.